friends, it's Kathy, and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's in the Cards Divination. Today, we're going to do another pick a pile reading, and this one is going to be a message meant for you right now. So, there's a message coming through you need to hear, and I have 3 piles in front of you to choose from. And for those who haven't had a pick a pile reading before, there's 3 piles to choose from, and you pick which one speaks to you, and there'll be a reading for you in the timestamp in the description box below that is applicable to that card. Now, this is a timeless reading as well as a general reading because it apply to a lot of people or none at all. If it doesn't resonate for you, don't worry about it. Let it go, or pick another pile and check that one out and see if that sounds like speaking to you. Okay? So, having said that, first pile you can choose from is the Empress card. Okay. And the second is the Temperance card. And the third is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. All right, so let's get into this reading now, my friends. Pause the video, give yourself a moment, see which pile is speaking to you. Go directly to your reading, and I'll see you guys in your reading. Hi, pile number 1. If you chose the Empress card, then this is your reading. All right, let's get started here. So I already shuffled and I drew your cards for you. So let me start with the Oracle cards first. And we have the God box. That's what it's called. Sorry, there's a glare. Okay. And we have improving health. Okay. Should move these up a bit. Oh, not that quite high. Let's turn those. And then I pulled this Oracle card, which is from Spirit Postcards. Postcards from Spirit, actually. And there's quite a read here, but I can tell you what it's telling me is that there's a part of you, well, and we all have this, that's fearful of going outside your comfort zone. Okay. There's that insecurity is eating away at you. So a message so far, and I'm going to keep going with the cards. Clearly, that's about health. I mean, we know that. And the Empress verifies that. But that's not just physical health. This could be mental, spiritual, and emotional as well. And improving health. Take care of yourself. Things will get better. So that's a simple enough answer, but we're going to look at this deeper and get a good message for you. Let me go into, I pulled 2 Kipper cards, and the first one is about courtship. And let's see, the second one is imprisonment. Okay. And lastly, we have our tarot, which I will pull up for you. It's the 9 of coins in the upright position. The 7, let me just move this over a little bit more here so we have some room. We have the 7 of Wands in the upright position. And lastly, the 8 of Swords in the reverse position. I'll just put this down here. Okay, so what I feel like I'm getting about this is your message is about your next phase that's coming up now, what you want to do or what they're recommending, you have to understand our guides, spirit, they will never tell you what to do. This is only a recommendation that maybe this is what you should be looking at. Okay. Well, number one, clearly, we need to pay more attention to our own self, our own situation with our own health, obviously. But I also feel this is more about, it's not just about well, we talked about physical. Let me move all this down because it's not nice and uniform. Okay. So there's a tremendous amount of insecurity inside you that won't allow you most of the time to come forward with new ideas, like, or perhaps you feel sometimes that people wouldn't listen to you. Okay. Um, there's a lot of what I'm seeing around this, other than this card, there's a lot of being alone here. A lot of, and you've got yourself in a place where you feel comfortable, you feel not just financially, you feel like you are um looking for that word where feel comfortable in your own skin. That's what I'm hearing. And but yeah, that's on the outside. What's going on inside is much different. Okay. They're asking you, get out of your comfort zone. Like, we have a tendency, and I know this from experience, we do things always the same way. We all have a tendency to if it isn't broke, don't fix it type of thing. So the spirit is asking you, your message is number one, do things, be a little more adventurous in some of your upcoming life situations, whether it is at work or with relationships or in whatever situation. Because I have these two cards here, and this is telling me you need to stand up for yourself. Um, don't allow these people or any situation to keep hearing hide your light. Okay, we have that expression in the spiritual work where you let your light shine out and people will see it. Now, in this case, there's this feeling, even though you're free to do what you want to do in life, you have free will, you feel that you've got your life figured out, you can make your choices, but there's something holding you back. Okay, this is the message I'm getting, that your fears and your worries about what maybe other people think, okay, that could be one area that you are concerned with here. Um, and failure. Everybody is afraid of failure. It's always about that. But what this does by stepping outside the comfort zone for you, it allows, number one, your health is going to improve. And when I say health, I mean mental health, emotional health. Yeah, we could go on and say, oh, yeah, exercise, take care of yourself. Well, everybody knows that. I'm not going to go on about that. But the Empress does refer to that. The Empress, but she's more. See, the Empress is very successful. She has everything figured out. She's in the upright position. She's very creative and makes friends easy and everything, all the good stuff. It's just that you have a tendency, most of you who are getting this message, to withdraw for fear of failure. Okay? You do not want to, maybe you're a little bit more introverted, even, because I'm getting that sense that there's some of you are more not as, because of Kipper here. Kipper is telling me that you don't always like to be with other people all the time. like in crowds maybe, that other people are intimidating even. And I know that's a huge stretch. It's not for everybody. This is for only some of you, obviously. There is this sense that you're more comfortable with yourself because you don't then have that fear of failure and not doing what people expect of you. There's like this constant being on a stage sometimes when we have to be around other people. It's like you're trying to show everyone all the good things, like, oh yes, I'm successful at work, I'm this, I'm that, and the other thing. But we all have these deep-seated insecurities, and what it's doing is it's causing you to become small. When I say small, I mean in your potential. Okay. The Empress card tells me your guides, your spirit are telling you you have so much potential to do more than what you're actually doing in this time of your life. And God box, which is interesting. I always like this card because it tells me you need to reach out to divine to when you're feeling that insecurity and you're feeling that fear, because they're basically telling you you need to let go of this feeling that you're not good enough, that you're not able to do as much as you can. What I'm hearing is it's about your I don't want to say creativity, but your ability to go further in this life than what you've been doing. You've sort of holding yourself back. That's the bottom line. So your message is basically stop doing that, which is so easy to say, hard to do. You are all that. You've got everything at your disposal right now to do things like to be bigger than what you allow yourself to be to other people. But it's going to require you to be a little braver and step outside your comfort zone. Do things that you normally would not even think of. It means sometimes putting ourselves into social situations or in with other people when we don't really feel comfortable doing that. Okay. Um, you need to yeah, I'm looking at it right here. It tells me right here, conquer self-doubt. Yeah, like we all do. But what it's happening is, and as I mentioned, it's making you smaller than what you really are. You have more to share and more to give to other people. So the spirit wants you to know that they see you as this wonderful you've got it all figured out person, human. The spirit having a human experience. You don't see it that way, okay? So they're suggesting this, and this is where it comes in here on this postcard. This is their advice, okay? Um, the advice we have for you is this try, and it says right here, try something new, do something different. You won't know how it feels, what it looks like, or what the outcome will be if you do not take that first step into the unknown. You know what? Even if it doesn't go well, you tried, right? As opposed to holding yourself back, which is how I'm feeling. Okay? Don't allow yourself to feel I don't want to say unrestricted, but you are unrestricted. You're holding yourself back, is what I'm saying. You need to let go of that mentality that I can't do it, so therefore I won't, you know? I'm not even going to bother trying because I'll probably just fail at it. All these self-defeating ideas have to go. This is kind of how I sense you've got yourself in this small little world, not literally, well, maybe literally, but figuratively. And They want to tell you that it's not benefiting you at this time in your life, okay? So going forward now, they want you, and yes, this is a good advice as well, the God box. I've always even thought of this myself. You take your worries, you put them in your mind, you visualize a little box and you hand it to God and say, "You take care of the worries. I don't want to worry about it anymore." That's basically what this refers to. And so every time a situation in your life comes up where you are afraid, that's what you need to do. You put those fears into visualize it in the God box and you hand it to God and say, "You know what? You worry about it. I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this." So what will happen is not only um, spiritually, it'll move you forward, but mentally, emotionally, it is a step in the right direction that you can then you've tried. You've tried and there will be failures. That's just life. Isn't it better to have tried and failed than not tried at all? Because I always say this, like, people say, well, at the end of your life, a lot of people that have passed and come and they're on their deathbed and they say, "You know what? It was the things I didn't do that I regret." Okay. So I hope this message makes sense to you. Don't allow yourself to hold back. Let yourself step into that unknown. Yeah, I know. It's kind of scary. It is scary. There's no doubt. Baby steps. You can do it in little ways too. Okay. So I hope this resonated with you and made some sense. And I leave this reading with you, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye for now. Hi, pile number two. If you chose the Temperance card, then this is your reading. Okay, let's just put that over there. I pre-shuffled and dealt your cards for you. So let's start with the oracle cards about what is this message that's meant for you, pile two. Okay, the first card is forgiveness. Okay, forgiveness. There we go. Oh, that's crooked still. Okay, the next oracle card is listen to your intuitive, oops, sorry. Listen to your intuitive feelings. And the last oracle card I picked was from Postcards from Spirit. And there is quite a bit of writing on this one. But these are lovely little messages that these oracle cards come through, spirits talking to us. And dearest you, and what it talks about in this one, we'll get into shortly because it's important with respect as well. It resonates with the tarot cards that are. Let me move this up that I pre-drew for you. Okay, all right, see here. So, and then I did pull some Kipper cards. First one is Distant Horizons, and then Unexpected Income. And I know what you're thinking. Everybody's thinking, "Wow, number two's getting money. Yay." Well, let's just see what's coming. All right. Your first tarot is the Nine of Swords, but in the reverse position, which I prefer seeing it this way. That's my own take on the reversal. Then we have the Eight of Coins or Pentacles in the upright position. And finally, I have the Death card. Now, don't get concerned. Okay, because this is a message. It's not like they're saying, "Okay, you're gonna die." Well, no, I don't read those things. And to be quite honest, we all know we're gonna die someday. But we don't need to see it in a message or know when. Okay, so first of all, let me start for you with the Temperance card. So it looks like things have been going along for you in You've been trying to keep an even keel. Things going, but this is not what this is about. For most of you, this could be in relation to a loss. Okay. It can be you've experienced a death in your life, or you are dealing with a breakup, or a loss of any kind, a loss of a job, a loss even of your identity, some type of loss you had to deal with. It can even be on a minor level, but it's something that has been causing, you've been in a deep level of stress. Okay. So, what they're trying to tell you is that situation, it appears that you've been trying so hard to keep yourself on an even keel with respect to whatever loss you went through. It's you're not actually dealing with it. You're not actually moving forward in any direction as far as you're grieving. Okay. This could, for a lot of you, this could refer to grieving this loss in some way. Um, for example, and let's take this from not a death loss. We'll take it from job situation. Maybe you didn't get a job that you wanted. Okay. If it's something, a loss, as I say, there's losses come in all forms. It's still a grieving process you have to go through. Some of it's on a smaller scale and then all the way up to the big stuff, right? Now, in order for you to get this actual point where you feel on an even keel or you have um, a balance in your life. Your emotions are balanced again. Okay. We're telling you the first thing you need to do is forgive. And this can not necessarily be forgiving other people. This can be forgiving ourselves. Perhaps there was something you didn't do and you're beating yourself up about it. It's letting it go. Okay, that's part of the process. As well, you need to listen to your feelings, listen to your intuitive feelings, because what they're telling is that it comes out through your body physically, and little things start showing up because that's how stress comes through. And intuitiveness can be your gut. They always talk about your gut feelings. Okay, you're going to feel it in your gut, right? If it's good or bad. So they're telling you they're to pay attention to those things. But what I'm feeling more is that this you want to be able to get past this situation, obviously. And that's what they're telling you is it's time to let go of whatever is holding you back from a loss. Okay. It's time, but it's coming and it's telling me that you're stuck. You're almost there. You're almost, sometimes you're able to, and sometimes you're not. You're still stuck. And it's repeating all the time. It's like, this is what this card is telling me. The Eight of Coins is like this. Just when you think you're feeling better, it's coming back again. It's like over and over, right? And so you're kind of in this stuck situation in your head. Um, and of course, the death card is also telling me that it needs to end. It's not just about a loss. In some cases, it could be just a very difficult situation you've been through, whether it's a loss or some type of traumatic situation that you're stuck in and you can't seem to get your head out of it. Number one, forgiveness is so important. Forgive yourself. Like if you did something wrong and it's bothering you and you just can't seem to get past it, it's hard to let go of that. We are hardest on ourselves, right? Okay, so then they're also saying this message to you is what happens, and this is exactly, you know what? I heard it now. Okay. This card is message is telling you in order for you to get your strength back and to emotionally find your balance again, you need to find the middle ground. Whether it's, like I say, maybe there's a person in your life you are having a difficulty with, a friendship that's over, that you've lost. You are going to come out stronger in the end, but you need to do some of these things in order to get there. Okay. Forgiveness being one of the big ones, listening to your intuitive feelings, listening to your feelings. Now, let's go over to distant horizons and unexpected income. Now, I don't feel this message is necessarily on a financial level. It could be, but I think it's deeper than that. It's more of a this refers, the unexpected income refers to an exchange. Okay, back and forth. It's kind of similar to this card. Oops, show it down here. Similar to the Temperance, in that there's this back and forth, okay, between with the money, which is just a symbol in this case. And I think it's been going on for some time, potentially, with the distant horizons. It also tells me that I feel like you're getting to the end of it. It's close. You're not quite there yet. So you need to keep persevering with this situation. And I know you want to be able to let it go. It's close to the end, okay? But you just can't seem to completely let it go. You're holding back. There seems to be some guilt here around this situation. I'm feeling. And I saw a really good description or heard a good description about the temperance card one time, and it suddenly popped into my mind. And it does. It talks about when we find this balance, this emotional balance, we're actually stronger emotionally and mentally. We become stronger inside. So, in other words, this is what this situation is telling you also. You have to go through this in order to become stronger. All these difficult situations we go through, that's exactly what it does. If you're able to process it and let go, um, forgive yourself. There's guilt around this situation? No. No, 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 no. They're telling you, you guys are telling you, you gotta let that go. Um, as well, the card, postcard from Spirit talks actually about grieving. I'll read just some of it. It's a process. Feel the loss and integrate it. See the beauty that was, the lessons learned, and know that as you let go of what has passed, ever more of you remains. It gets better, we promise. Your heart expands with more compassion for the world than ever before. Love heals all. Isn't that the truth? So, this is a very important message for you right now. Because if you're in the middle or in towards the end, but you can't seem to get out of your emotions of pain, of a loss, or a situation, a traumatic situation that you've gone through, a difficult situation, know that it will get better. Number one, it's showing by the Temperance upright. Um, and the Nine of Swords in the reverse is showing me also that it's almost letting go of those swords, that worrying that you've been doing, and that stress and anxiety that you have around it. Keep hearing there's some of you, there's a trust as well. There's a trust situation around this that you don't trust it will get better or that things will improve. And I feel like if I let go of my worrying or stop worrying, it's like there's this guilt and this, yeah, guilt and trust issue around it. You can't seem to trust in yourself as well. I'm hearing that. There's this, and I know that sounds very confusing, so I try not to make this too confusing. I want to go back and summarize this message for you, um, that your spirit is saying, in order to get, they want you in this next phase of this year to look at finding either some middle ground if it's with another person in a situation. Forgiveness, that it's obvious. Let go of any hurts that you've experienced. Let go of that stress. Don't keep repeating the same mistakes. Let it go. End it. It's done. And then, and only then, will things be transformed into something better. You can move on to the other side from a loss. In other words, there'll be healing. Okay. Um, there'll be a balance. This is what unexpected income is telling me. It's like there's going to be a balance. You can achieve it. And it looks like you will get there. Okay, that's good news. It's just you have to know that this was an important lesson for you. It's all about lessons in this life. And the tough ones, the really tough ones, are when we learn the most, right? So allow yourself to, it even says in this postcard from Spirit, allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to grieve any losses, allow yourself to let them go. It doesn't mean you've forgotten about the person that you've lost or that another person has won, quote unquote, by forgiving and letting go. No, forgiveness means that you get peace. And that's what the Temperance card is all about. It's about finding some calmness and peace in this storm. Okay. So, my dear pile number two, I hope that made sense for you. I know sometimes it can be a little disjointed, but bottom line here is um, you do need to pay more attention to your feelings. I know it says that here, the intuitive feelings, and allow yourself to, forgiveness is the biggest, honestly, for any situation. And whether that's forgiving yourself or forgiving someone else, go for it. You need to do that. That is when the healing starts, okay? I'm going to spit this out for you, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. And take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Hi, pile number three. If you chose the Wheel of Fortune, then this is your reading. Okay, let's put this over here. All right, so I did already draw your cards, so I will start now with the oracle cards for your message. Okay, the first card is success. We like to see that, don't we? Okay, I'll put that down. Oops, sorry, put that right there. The next oracle card is Archangel Michael. He said, you're working very closely with this powerful archangel who's protecting and guiding you through this situation. That's good. And then I drew from Postcards from Spirit this particular postcard, which it basically, I will just paraphrase it, but it basically tells me it's about prayers, answering your prayers. All your prayers are heard and mirrored back to you from the unseen realms, and they're all being answered for the highest good of both you and all life. Sometimes what you pray for is not supposed to happen for you, and your prayers will be answered in surprising ways. At this moment, we are listening intently to your prayers and want you to know that your highest good is our priority. All is well. Very nice. Okay, actually, I'm going to move this over here a little more, so you can see those cards. All right. And lastly, other than the tarot, of course, I will Kipper. Let's see what Kipper has to say about this whole situation. The privileged lady. And the Lover's card. Okay. Now, next is our Tarot. Okay. First card that I pulled for you was the Page of Cups in the reversed position. Then we have the Knight of Cups in the reversed position. Okay, let me move that over. Then we have the Ten of Swords upright. Okay. Well, It looks like you've been through some real disappointments lately. Potentially heartache, disappointment, things not going the way you'd hoped they would, as reflected by Postcards and Spirit, as well as these two cards, Page of Cups, Knight of Cups reverse. Um, excuse me. For some, um, you know what I'm hearing? It's like you think the world hates you. Okay. I'm hearing this, like the Wheel of Fortune in the upright position is really good. Um, but you think everything's out of your control and it hasn't been going the way you hoped it would. So therefore, I'm getting the feeling that you're really kind of given up this idea that it's like you feel like you're cursed. And there's no such thing. I don't believe in curses. That's how you're feeling. It's like, when am I going to finally have things go my way? Okay. So there's this feeling that this is how you've been feeling prior to now, or maybe you still feel it. You've been through some difficult times, it looks like. But it doesn't mean this is the way it's going. It's not. In fact, with the success card, it's actually opposite, obviously, of what you're feeling. If that's how you're feeling about the situation. In fact, as it says here, Archangel Michael, maybe some of you have even called upon Archangel Michael for help and you feel like they've let you down. It's like there's nobody there. They are. I'm here to tell you. And it's kind of like saying you, it's exactly what the postcard says, the postcard from Spirit. When we don't get what we want, there's something better for us. You're just in that transition period right now. So the message I'm getting is, yes, it's going to be getting better in ways you had no idea would come. Something unexpected. The Wheel of Fortune is coming back up for you. Period you went through was just a difficult time. It's done for now. As you know, everything's in cycles in life, and this time around, things are going to get better. If this is not referring to an actual person or people in your life that have really let you down recently, then it could be telling me that you have not had, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. You've been seeing things unrealistically, is what it's telling me in this situation. It's it's like when they say be careful what you wish for, you might actually get it and you don't really want it even though you think you do. I know. It goes back to this too. There is this feeling that if I could just get A or get B, then I'd be happy. If I could just get. And yes, that could very well be true. But maybe there's a different outcome that's better because I know Spirit is always working behind the scenes to make things happen. And sometimes, as I said, I've said this before, we have to go through these difficult times in order to learn something. So your message, pile number 3, is basically telling me, don't give up hope. We've got your back. Things are going to get better. I know you've been disappointed. Maybe some of you have even railed against God. I know I've heard people when things go really bad, they're angry at God. They don't want to, and I like to think God has big shoulders. So they're telling you it's okay. This is just this period of time. You've gone through this situation. In fact, the Ten of Swords always talks about when we hit rock bottom, there's no other way to go up, right? And that's exactly what the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is coming back around and things will improve for you. And for some of you, in Kipper is telling me, um, when we talk about the privileged lady, it could even be referring to financial situation that you really wanted or you really hoped for, a situation where you thought that was going to be the answer to all your problems. If you could just either get a certain job or be with a certain person or whatever the case is, then I'll be happy. But unfortunately, it's not a realistic. You've been let down. Okay, you've been really disappointed in this situation. And I know it's hard. Like the Ten of Swords, often, as I say, it talks about rock bottom. You can see it in the keywords. But when we, like I said, when we hit rock bottom, there's nowhere else to go. So you're going, well, you could stay there, I suppose, but you're not going to. Things are going to start improving, and that's the good news. And they want you to know that also, I'm hearing the success. It's not just success for you, but it's success like, okay, you learned the lesson. You get it. You figured it out. It's good. You know what? They're happy. It's like it's almost like when we have learned our life lessons, we go on to the next step. So you've improved, in other words, you've spiritually improved. And Archangel Michael, I consider the strongest of all the archangels, and I do call upon him personally, but you can call upon him when things are really bad, and he will help you. So it even tells me, as it says, you may not even have done it consciously, but you've sort of put out the intention of wanting help from the divine, and he's been there for you. You just don't know. You haven't seen it, okay? The other situation here, if it's not in relation to a person, like I say, it might have been. It could very, I mean, because of the fact that it's two court cards together, it's most likely the situation is around a relationship with another person. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, despite the lovers, but it would seem like that might be the situation. In other words, whether you've broken up, hit rock bottom, this person turned out to be a real piece of work, it's done. Okay? You need to move on now. Okay? You have passed this test by letting go of this situation, whether it's a friend who is not a friend and hasn't been a good friend, or like I say, it's a relationship that you've moved on from, or you've left, or you've broken up. Maybe it's even recently. This is a good thing. Okay? It's telling me tide of it's going to shift and things are going to start in a better upward direction for you. You've been going through this difficult time, as I was saying, and it's so much. Look, it's really bad as far as your tarot cards are concerned. You have been with this person. You thought those of you, it's a relationship. You were with somebody you thought was like the Knight of Cups, the knight on the white horse, and the romantic and the gestures and everything. And it turned out he was just a Page of Cups, so he wasn't even a knight. He was like a he or she, depending. And it turned out to be maybe they're really not what you thought at all. Not only are they not a Knight of Cups, they're nice romantic. They're a reversed Page of Cups, which is like, in my mind or in my intuition, it's like the worst. This person, you somehow you built them up to be better than what they actually were, and it really let you down, really hurt. And we do that, right? Because we want things to be a certain way. Some of us even have romanticized versions or fantasies about what we want out of a situation. And this can also apply to friends and coworkers. Maybe there's somebody you're dealing with at work who is just, you try to see them for somebody better than what they actually are, but they really aren't. And if it's work related, they're not necessarily capable of doing that job, but they're a disappointment to you. And this is really bringing down the whole organization, if this is related to work. Um, but I really sense it's more relational with people, other people. It can be family members, it could be friends, that you somehow thought they were better than what they turned out to be. It's the bottom line. And some people, it's for some of us, maybe you thought you had everything with them. You thought they would give you a good financial life that you could enjoy, finally enjoy having some money and living a better lifestyle. And yes, you really cared about them, and you were trying to make it work. You wanted that type of situation. If it's a relationship, you wanted it to be the perfect lovers and perfect everything, but you were not seeing things realistically. Okay, you were seeing through rose-colored glasses. The good news, my friend, is that the situation is now coming to an end, or it's ended, and your message is congratulations, you did it. I'm so proud of you. You got through this terrible situation. Stick with it, and it will get easier, and things will get easier for you. Okay? So, whatever the situation played out for you, I hope this resonated, and I send this out to you, and I look forward to our next video together, and bye for now.